Imagine waking up every morning surrounded by water. No streets. No traffic. No skyscrapers. Instead, your entire village gently rises and falls with the waves. For millions of people around the world, this isn't a dream, it's everyday life. But today's floating villages are no longer just simple wooden homes built on rivers. They are becoming some of the world's most innovative examples of sustainable architecture, combining centuries-old traditions with cutting-edge engineering. How can entire communities survive on water? What technology keeps these villages stable? And could floating cities become humanity's future as sea levels continue to rise? Today, we're exploring the incredible architectural mastery of floating villages in the modern technological era. Humans have lived on water for thousands of years. From Southeast Asia's floating fishing villages to communities on Cambodia's Tunnel Sap Lake and Nigeria's Makoko settlement, people adapted to life where land was limited. Living on water offered many advantages. Fishing was always nearby. Transportation happened by boat. Floods became less dangerous because homes floated with the changing water levels. Generations perfected the art of building lightweight yet durable houses that could withstand waves, storms, and seasonal floods. Every beam, every wooden post, and every floating platform reflected centuries of practical engineering. These weren't random structures. They were masterpieces shaped by experience. At first glance, a floating village may seem fragile. But beneath every floating house lies an impressive engineering system. Traditional villages used bamboo bundles, timber logs, or empty barrels to create buoyancy. Modern floating homes use advanced floating platforms made from reinforced concrete, high-density polyethylene, or marine-grade steel. These platforms distribute weight evenly, allowing homes to remain stable even during rough weather. Anchoring systems prevent entire villages from drifting away. Flexible joints allow movement while maintaining structural strength. Some villages even use floating roads, floating schools, floating hospitals, and floating markets. Engineers carefully calculate balance, weight distribution, wind resistance, and wave movement before construction even begins. It's architecture designed to move instead of resisting nature. Today's floating villages are becoming smarter than ever. Solar panels generate clean electricity. Rainwater harvesting systems provide fresh drinking water. Advanced filtration units recycle wastewater. Some homes include smart monitoring systems that detect structural movement and weather conditions. Artificial intelligence can help predict storms. Floating gardens allow residents to grow vegetables despite having little land. Hydroponic farming uses nutrient-rich water instead of soil. Some communities even produce their own electricity through floating solar farms. Technology has transformed floating villages into self-sufficient ecosystems. Instead of depending entirely on nearby cities, many can generate their own food, water, and power. Climate change is changing the way architects think about cities. Global sea levels continue to rise. Coastal flooding is becoming more common. Traditional buildings face increasing risks. Floating architecture offers a different solution. Instead of fighting rising water, buildings simply float higher. Countries like the Netherlands are leading the world in floating construction. Entire floating neighborhoods have already been developed. Architects are now designing floating apartments, floating offices, floating parks, and even floating farms. Some experts believe future coastal cities may combine land-based and floating infrastructure together. As climate challenges increase, floating architecture may become one of humanity's most important innovations. Living on water isn't always easy. Strong storms can damage structures. Saltwater corrodes materials. Waste management requires careful planning. Transportation may become difficult during severe weather. Construction costs can also be much higher than traditional buildings. Engineers must constantly improve materials to resist corrosion, waves, and changing climates. Communities also need reliable healthcare, education, internet access, and emergency services. Modern technology helps solve many of these challenges, but careful planning remains essential. Floating villages require constant maintenance and smart design. Floating villages prove one remarkable truth. Human creativity has no limits. Instead of seeing water as an obstacle, people transformed it into their foundation. Ancient wisdom combined with modern engineering has created communities that are sustainable, resilient, and surprisingly beautiful. As technology continues to evolve, floating architecture may expand far beyond villages. Future generations could live in floating neighborhoods, floating cities, or even entire floating nations. What once seemed impossible is slowly becoming reality. Perhaps the future of architecture won't rise toward the sky. It may simply float upon the sea. If you enjoyed discovering the incredible world of floating villages, don't forget to like, subscribe,